Hello rum fans, my name's Steve the Barman and I'm here to help you on your rum journey by mainly focusing on rums under £50 in the UK. Today, I was kind of looking at all my rums on the back bar, which one can I taste today? If you follow me regularly, I'm filming this 2 days after, I couldn't do it yesterday, but 2 days after we did the Plantation 2007 taste along on my live show. And it kind of got me thinking. It's like, at the time, I was kind of comparing this to, get on there we go. I was kind of comparing it to Appleton, Rums and all that. Didn't enter my head until afterwards to kind of compare it to Worthy. So I thought this would be a cracking rum to kind of review and taste along there. So this is Worthy Park, what's it called? Single Estate Reserve. That's what it's called. So it's Worthy Park, all right? Jamaican rum. Worthy Park, you can, I don't know whether you'll see that on the label without me coming right the other side there. 1670, they are renowned as being one of the oldest, if not the oldest rum distillery not in the world, I know who that is, but certainly the oldest rum distillery in Jamaica. However, I think Appleton Estates' claim is that they are the oldest continuous distillery, if that makes sense, in Jamaica, because Worthy Park shut down and they reopened in, it was something to do with the government or something, I don't know what the actual story is, but basically shut down and they reopened in 2005. So that obviously goes to say that they haven't got any older rums than 2005, so they're steadily coming back. Getting some rums out there. This rum, I'll kind of read you the back of the label at the moment, but it's a blend of 6 to 10-year-old rums on there. That's why there's no age statement. Technically, if there was an age statement on there, it'd say 6-year-old rum, but they haven't done an age statement on there. It's just 6 to 10-year-old rums. So what else is Worthy Park renowned for? What do they do? Well, they were, and still are to a certain extent, contract distillers. They still make a lot of rum for other brands. For instance, if you went to E&A Shear in Holland, you would quite easily get hold of some Worthy Park rum for your blend of rums, or for your rum if you were in the UK and wanted a spiced rum brand, you quite easily get Worthy Park, that sort of stuff. However, they do, let's get this one, Rum Bar. Rum Bar is their kind of cheaper brand. And that's not to do it a disservice, because Rum Bar is a flipping good rum. All right, so Rum Bar is the kind of entry-level version of Worthy Park. But Worthy Park, as you'll see now, they've got the 109 there, the dark. They've got a few different formats of this, a few different finishes. I've tried the Madeira and the Sherry. I think there's a port cask finish of this as well. So they have got different finishes coming out. But in the relative terms, 2005, they are still pretty much a new distillery. All right, they haven't got like 25, 30-year-old rums to call on at the moment, but they will get there because they're a cracking distillery. So what else can I tell you? That's sorry, I've written up there. They don't use dunder pits or muck pits instead. It's quite, you know, this has become the thing now in Jamaica from what I know of it. Again, I haven't got the in-depth knowledge, but not many. Jamaica is synonymous with those muck pits and dunder pits. Well, actually, not many distilleries actually use them. What they do instead is kind of use, they sort of have their yeast strains to kind of like formulate and get that character into the rum. So instead of using dunder pits, so you can go away and research what dunder pits are, just basically the slops and the mess that you keep adding to and all that sort of stuff and ferment that. What they actually do is their yeast strains. They all have their particular yeast strains to get their character into the rums, the esters and all that sort of stuff. So they don't use dunder or muck pits. What else have I got to tell you? This rum, as far as I'm aware, the Worthy Park, I can't remember what it's called, Single Estate Reserve, there we go, came to in the UK to 2018. I don't know when it was actually released in Jamaica, but certainly 2018 was when it came out over here in the UK. 6 to 10-year-old rums, 45% ABV. It is pot still rum and it is totally unsweetened. All right, there's no additives, no dosage or anything like that. Typical with all Jamaican rums that come directly out of Jamaica. All right. So 0 sugar. So as always, now the blurb's done, I'm going to talk you through my nosing, my tasting notes. I'm going to tell you what other people have got from the RumX app. We're going to go through the mixer test and the cocktail test, and then we'll do the summing up of whether I think it's value for money, any other rums that I would kind of put there. So let's dive into it. Let's go straight into the old tasting. So if we open up the RumX app, I hope it comes to you guys in the US and Canada and around the world soon. It's a European thing at the moment. But I hope it gets there. It's a brilliant, brilliant app. I love it. So first thing we do when we open it up, we have to gauge the colour. I've gone tawny. That's what I've gone for, that colour tawny. Let's say that, you know, it's not the legs of the glass. It's got a little bit, not too much there. I need my proper glass. I broke my proper tasting glass, so I need to get some more of them. But yeah, not much legs on it there. Kind of, you know, thickness, viscosity. That's what I'm judging at the moment for that. So not much there. Right, on the old nostrils. I'm a little bit bunged up today, so I'm not getting too much. But the one thing I do want to say, and this is vitally important, because I only did that probably about 2 weeks ago now. Where are we? Not even that. About 8 days ago, I did that in a live. I think that's right. So this is really fresh in my mind. And smelling that instantly reminded me of that. Instantly, it's kind of that. I don't know whether I'm getting to learn whether that's Worthy Park's character. It's certainly different to Hampden, certainly different to Appleton, but it's kind of got that. That reminds me of just a more rum bar with more finesse. That's kind of what I want to say. So what else did I get there? The first initial notes, which this is kind of interesting. I got chocolate, but then very quickly went into those tropical fruits like banana and tropical fruit vibes coming off there. Softwood, vanilla, and almond. I get a touch of almond on there. Like, I want to say, like, the thing that reminded me is amaretto, di Serrano. That's kind of what it reminded me of. It was like just a little faint sort of nostril there. I was almost tempted to put varnish in there as well. I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me if I open up the tasting notes and or on the app and I kind of see varnish. It wouldn't surprise me. But I don't, see, the more it's sitting in there, the more I'm saying to myself, the more I am getting varnish. I might have to add that in, you know. Yeah, I wasn't getting that. See, that's been in the glass now for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I wasn't getting that when I was when I wrote the notes out. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Right, okay. So scores on the doors, sweetness. I've gone through it. I can't, as always, you know, I keep repeating myself, but I can't add this onto RumX. There isn't a thing for the nose, but it's basically it's my little test to myself. I score it out of 5 because I want to see how sweet it is from the nose. I've gone 3. I think this has got the potential to be a sweeter rum. Bearing in mind, I know that there's no sugar added to it. So I've gone for a 3. Fruitiness, definitely a 3. Floral 1, spices 2, woody oaky 2, roasted 1, and rounded 2. So for me, while there is the kind of wood oak notes to it, I think the emphasis has to be on the sort of banana tropical fruit vibes on there. I think it punches out in that direction for me. Yes, there is wood, and I don't think I added that into the taste. No, I put softwood. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Right, let's get other people's. So before, this has been reviewed 72 times. All right, so this is a healthy reviewed rum, and I'll give you the average scores and all that at the end. Right, let's go to the profiles. Banana. This is what other people have smelt. Banana, tropical fruits, esters. That may be the varnish thing. Okay, bear with. Woody, vanilla, citrus. Oh, citrus. No, I don't get citrus. Quite a few people have done. I don't get citrus on that. Fruity, marzipan. What did I put? Almond, marzipan. Oh, that's interesting. Marzipan. I went for di Serrano, almond. That's interesting. And the final one is spice. So there's no varnish, no glue, but ester. I'm wondering if that may be what I'm kind of thinking as varnish, ester. I know what esters smell like. I've smelt some proper funky rums, and I've got minimal funky rums. There's a couple of funky, well, there's a couple of funky ones in the boutique-y stuff there. And I wouldn't say it's funky. Yeah, maybe what that is. Okay, right, let's get into the tasting notes. Right, let's have a remind myself. Right, it's kind of interesting actually. Doing it and then leaving it for half an hour or so and then coming back to it. Right, let me just read out what I've put. See if this has changed. Tropical fruits up front. Banana. Definitely goes back into spice. They're the first two. I'll take you through the journey. I'm literally reading, but it's taking me through the journey again. Spice. Wood now comes out. The wood, the tropical fruits are still there, but I do get that touch of vanilla. Not a huge vanilla, but a touch of vanilla. And I've added chocolate. I don't get the chocolate now. Hang on. That's really interesting. I don't know what made me think chocolate. I'm certainly not getting the chocolate off that now. I wonder if that is because it's been out for half an hour or so and it's kind of softened. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't get chocolate, but I did put that down earlier. Interesting. We'll see what other people have got in a bit. But how I describe this, I've written down very elegant rum. It's very soft and definitely minimal funk. If you're like a newbie but want to get into sipping rums, but you're put off by those high esters, I think the ester thing is a big sort of I can't think of the word. Not a myth. It's not a myth because there are some really high ester Jamaican rums, but most of the rums, especially under £50, you don't really get them. You get a lot of funk off like the Rum Bar Overproof or the Rain Nephew. You get a bit of funk off the Hamden estate there. You get a slightly less funk off the Smith and Cross. People say that's really funky. That for me that isn't. Not at all. So yeah, you know, and you're going to be thinking, oh, hang on, if I think that's funky and he says this isn't, you know, I promise you, this is just like Appleton, for instance, are not renowned for being high ester funky rums, but they have got that inherent Jamaican characteristic. I think this is the same. I really don't think this is funky. I really don't. So scores. What have I done? Sweetness. I kind of disproved it. I think I put 3 on the nose. Hang on, let me scroll back up. Yeah, 3 on the nose. On the taste, 2. It doesn't start off, but it finishes. Start off with that sort of peppery spice, tropical fruits, but peppery spice very quickly comes in there. So I've given it a 2. Fruit 3, floral 1, spices 2, woody oaky 2, roasted 1, and rounded 2. That's what I've gone for there. And I'll just quickly do the finish. I've gone for a medium finish, tropical fruits, banana, and spice. The wood for me softens out. There's no real wood oak on the finish. There's a little bit of spice, but I get tropical, juicy fruits with spice. That's kind of what I get from this. 45% ABV. That's the other thing. Would I think this is 45? The only thing that really gives that away for me to being a stronger rum is probably those spice notes. That's quite interesting. I hadn't really thought about that until I've just quickly seen the ABV again. I'm not overly convinced. If I had multiple choice, if you gave that to me blind and you said, right, is that 40, 45, or say like 50, I'm not overly convinced I would say 45. There's nothing in there really that jumps out at me to say that's stronger than the 40% ABV, other than the spice element. That's kind of interesting. Right, let's see what other people have got. Let's scroll down. So, on the old tasting, wow, the big one is woody. I did put wood, but there wasn't the first thing that came out that sprung to mind. Woody, spice, tropical fruits, vanilla, barrel, fruity, banana, soft, and ester. Ester is there again, but I just want to emphasise that is the least tasting note that people have put down. It's, you know, the most is woody. So they were in order, essentially. The ones I read out of the front are the ones that more people have put. So way more people have put woody, spice, tropical fruits, vanilla than they have esters. All right, that kind of varnish doesn't come through in the tasting that I mentioned earlier. It really doesn't. So if that's the esters, it really doesn't come through in the tasting for me. And chocolate. Yeah, I did. No one's put chocolate either. So what happened there with the chocolate? I don't know, but I'm not getting it now. 100% I'm not getting chocolate now. And the only addition to mention on the finish for people, tobacco. It's, yeah, roasted tropical fruits barrel, yeah, blah, 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 bitter. Yeah, the big one there is tobacco. I don't get tobacco on the finish. Interesting. Right, scores on the doors. I have given this, yeah, I'm going to stick with it. I've given it an 80 out of 100. So it's the bottom end of very good. Better than good. So 70 to 79 is good. 80 to 89 is very good. Why is it the bottom end of very good? For me, drinking it, it's lovely. I'll do the summing up in a minute. It's a lovely rum. It's not going to be an automatic, oh, I'm going to grab that for a sipper tonight. You know, it's just, as nice as that is, it's not for me. I'm not going to be, yeah, I'm going to have some of that, you know, first on my thoughts. So that is I can't go 82, 85, 88 or anything like that, because it's not going to be it's definitely going to be a choice, but it's not an automatic choice. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Right, let's go on to the old taste test. Now, I will be open and honest here. What did I say? How much was this? 44.95. 45 quid. As nice as they were, I wouldn't bother. I generally wouldn't bother. That rum is not for mixing in that. Rum and Coke, ginger ale, spiced orange ginger ale, fever tree, ginger beer. They're nice. Does it bring anything more to that? And I'm filming this in the same session that I did the previous video, or should be the Santiago de Cuba. Do any of those stand out better than the Santiago de Cuba? No, they don't. So for me, you're kind of wasting an extra 20, 25 quid on having it as a rum and Coke. I wouldn't bother. Nothing stands out. They're nice, they just don't stand out. All right. So that's where that's going. And pretty similar story on the old daiquiri rum fashioned rum punch. Again, daiquiri is actually nice. It is quite nice. You know, for me, I'm not a massive aged rum daiquiri fan, especially pot still. I do prefer lighter column stills. It's actually kind of a light, elegant rum. So it's not really rich and full bodied pot still that you might expect. So it's actually not too bad in a daiquiri. The rum fashioned, yes, exceptionally nice. Really, really nice. Do I prefer it over sipping it neat? If you've got a slightly sweeter tooth, you might benefit from the addition of a tiny bit of sugar. But, you know, as nice as that is, it's aimed at sipping neat. It really is. The rum punch, again, generic. It loses it's not built for the cocktails or anything like it. It's built as to enjoy neat sipping. Maybe a touch of water, maybe an ice cube. The rum punch, for me, is definitely the pick out of those seven. The rum fashioned, definitely the pick out of those seven. I wouldn't bother mixing it with that. So we'll come on to the summing up now. Right, so the three questions I always ask myself. Is it value for money? Would I replace it? And are there any other comparable rums? Okay, I tried to do that without looking at my notes then. I don't know why I forgot that. So, is it value for money? 45 quid. I think it is, right, and this is how I'm going to justify this, because I mentioned it right at the start of the video. I love Plantation. I'm a big Plantation fanboy. 70 quid for that, 45 quid for that, or 67, or whatever it was. That, for me, I scored higher than I did the Plantation Clarendon 2007. I think there's more character, it's more kind of Jamaican vibes that I kind of want from a Jamaican rum in that, compared to that. This is obviously a little bit sweeter. I think there's... Is there dosage in here? I forget. No, I mean, there was no zero sugar added to this, but I think we all agreed on the live tasting that it was actually, you know, it's kind of a sweet, luscious, full-bodied rum. It was nice. It was nice, but I'm scoring this one higher. And price will come into that because, you know, 45 quid versus 70 quid, near as damn it, you know, I've got to score that higher because it is better value for money. In that sense, you know, I'm not just going to score something with face value. The money, the price does have to come into that. It does. You know, if you're just, you know, it does. You could argue all day long, but you have to incorporate the price into that, into your overall score. You do. So, is it value for money? I think it's a sipping rum. I think it is a banger. I think it is really, really good. Would I buy it again? At this precise moment, I'm going to say no. But I think another year, when I'm further down my sipping journey, my rum sipping journey, I think I could appreciate that a lot more at the moment than I would at the moment. Now, my whole point being, are there any other rums that I would compare to this? So the big two I'm going to bring out are these two. Okay, all right, different age statements, different years. We've got 6 to 12 in there, 6 to 10 in there. We've got an 8-year-old here, and we've got a 12-year-old here. So you could sort of argue that the 8 is in there as well. You could. I'm not going to bother because that is literally half the price of that. You could argue that the Appleton 8 sits in there for me. At the moment, this is how I'm going to rank them. £55 in the UK. I'm appreciative that in the US and other places around the world, Germany especially, I think as well, that's quite cheap. It's a lot cheaper than what it is here. 55 quid. For me, that is very, very expensive for what that is. If that was £15 cheaper, that for me would score a lot higher and I would be a bigger fan of it. But at 55 quid, I cannot justify that. I don't think that is a £55 rum. I really don't. Appleton 12-year-old, 38.95, 39 quid. So we're coming in, we're saving ourselves, what, £6? At the moment, I enjoy the Appleton 12-year-old more than I do the Worthy. But I've got a funny feeling that might change as we go further down the rum journey. And I have to say, I did love the expressions, the Madeira and the sherry. I'd love to try the port one as well. I haven't got round to that yet. But yeah, interesting. Let me know what you think. Which one would you pick out of those two?